Welcome, welcome to the Haddonfield Horrors podcast, where we discuss all things horror, from one-off movies to franchises to TV series and even expanded media. I'm Mark,
I'm Tawan.
and today we're reviewing Ready or Not 2, Ready or Not Here I Come, released in 2026.
Directed by Matt Ben-Leopin and Tyler Gillette, written by Guy Busick and R. Christopher Murphy. And this week we don't have any Haddonfield headlines for you guys, so we will be going straight into the movie. After surviving an all-out attack from the Ladomas family, Grace discovers she's reached the next level of the nightmarish game, and this time with her estranged sister Faith by her side. To survive, Grace must keep Faith alive and claim the high seat of the council that controls the world, for rival families are also hunting her for the throne, and whoever wins will rule them all.
Well, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. I didn't pay any attention to this movie when they were dropping the cast announcements and all of that. I didn't really care about this movie until I watched Ready or Not last week and fell in love with the movie, and then I just couldn't wait. I mean, I was kind of interested because my girl Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it. You know, I've been down for her since Buffy, but you also know that I love my former soap opera actors and actresses, and she's an award-winning soap opera actress, and I love me some Sarah Michelle Gellar. You know, she a horror scream queen. I had to see her in this, and then my boy Sean's in it from The Faculty and from The Pit, and Elijah Wood. I just like Elijah. He just be popping up and shit now, and I love it. You know, I think I don't know if you mentioned this on the show, Tawan, but like him and Daniel Radcliffe just be in movies now. They just pop up in most random shit because they still surviving off that Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings money, respectively. So I just like to see him in things. So I was kind of curious about this. And then, I watched it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It did what I like for sequels to do, which is to expand the world, but not explaining so much and expanding so much that it takes away from the original film. Like this expanded and explained just enough that it feels still within the same like story that was established and it's not like too far gone. And I enjoyed it. And Catherine Newton, I'm a Catherine Newton stan, and I'm not ashamed of it. What about you, Twan? What are your thoughts on Ready or Not 2?
Yes, it's finally here, 6 years later, and it's like it never left. I very much enjoy the sequel. And I was telling Mark this like because I mean obviously we're gonna get into like our cash and pass stuff later, but Mark was at, like when I told him I went to see it and he asked what my thoughts and I think it was better than the first one or anything like that. I couldn't really say because I don't feel it's better than the first one, but also it's not like bad or anything or worse than the first one was because of just how immediate it takes place after that first movie. Like it could kind of be if you put them together, they could kind of be just treated as one thing, high key, because of how because of like the proximity, how close to the stories is. Like if I know somebody's gonna do it on the pirate sites and pair these two movies together as just one cut because you could do that the first one ends and this one starts. And I like that. I like that it just picks up immediately after. We just had that continuation of the same story in that same way. So I was a big fan of how they started it like that, and just the movie in general. I think the cast that they were the new cast members they brought in were really good. They kept the same tone as the first one, that good like 50-50 with the comedic and the like horror elements. Catherine Newton, as Mark mentioned, as the sister Faith, was great. I really loved her here, and uh, shit, they definitely they felt like sisters. They felt like sisters, and especially at the end when they were like all dressed up and shit because of the wedding, like they was giving looks. I was
They
like, okay,
were.
y'all look like sisters for real.
They looked
Uh,
great, actually.
they did, yeah. They was giving looks, and but uh, yeah, as Mark said, I like the expansion of it all. How because the one family fucked up, they're fucking it up for the rest of the elites, and I I think that works. I think
That was a
as
shock to me.
yeah,
I wasn't expecting it to be like this whole organization, but I
hmm
liked it. I did not see that coming, and I was trying to figure out like I from the trailers, I kind of just thought these were like extended family members, not
mm,
directly related to them, but extended somehow, like a random ass third cousin twice removed, some shit like that. I wasn't expecting it to be like a whole host of different families, and I enjoyed that.
yeah. I think them doing that was smart because we know from the story like if they fuck up or die, like the whole bloodline is cursed. So everybody died.
Now, what if you was just like this random person who was adopted and you never met these people? Am I
I mean,
also going
you
to
don't,
spontaneously combust?
but you know that you wouldn't be in the bloodline though.
If I was in the bloodline and somebody gave me up for adoption,
I mean, yeah,
damn. Even though I'm not even connected to these people like that anymore, and they threw my ass away, I still gotta die.
you you in the
Oh wow,
bloodline. It's like
that's
Final
diabolical.
Destination.
That's diabolical, actually. Mm.
Yep. But overall, I really liked it. I had a very fun time with it. The additional characters that came and went were hilarious. I know we're gonna get the scenes, but shouts out to the old girl who was the bride. She was taking me out. Oh, who was supposed to be married to Grace's husband from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was hilarious.
Well, let's get into the scenes, and I want to start um with the kill in the hospital. Not even kill. Them spontaneously combusting the whole family, all because he couldn't wait for the ceremony. He thought he can get a
hmm
little, thought he can get a little jump start on this shit, and because he tried to do that, the whole family spontaneously combust.
Yup.
And I'm like, you idiot.
Couldn't even wait. He
Ah,
immediately out.
and I like that there are rules that have to be followed for this. Like, I'm
hmm
glad you can't cheat because that would be well, that would end the whole fucking movie, actually. But so I'm glad that that was like implemented. Also the other scene I had to skip to the end where Grace kills Titus
hmm
because he had that coming. You gonna murder your sister, and you didn't think about the words. There's no rules against killing family members. Like now she your fucking family. She your wife now. Y'all family. So now I saw like once I heard that, I was like, oh, she finna kill this nigga.
Yep.
I'm I'm okay with that. I am a okay with that. I liked all the scenes between Grace and Faith. I thought they
Yep.
were good like character building because we really didn't get any information about her or her family in that first movie. So having this like sister pop up and having to watch them reconnect and not just reconnect but try to survive the situation. I enjoyed their scenes together. They're like sisterly fight for survival. What about you? What are some scenes and kills that stood out for you?
Well, one scene that immediately I was like, oh, they going there for a second was when when Ursula and Titus's dad was like, call the ceasefire. And the news immediately was like, "Oh, ceasefire called in. We done." I was like, "Oh, wait!" I was like, oh shit. They the elite elites. Okay, they real control everything right now. Um, so that really, I was like, okay, so we dealing with the elites, capital E on that bitch. Um, so that's the I was really like, all right, we in here. So that was one. Another, as I mentioned earlier, the I'm forgetting her name. I gotta find it really quick. Maya. That was the that was Ignacio's daughter, the Latino family, and she was supposed to get married to Alex from the first movie before I guess he broke up with her and eventually got with Grace. And she got in her little wedding dress once it was her turn after her dad got killed, and immediately had that fucking rocket launcher and shot that shot that bitch back. Yeah, that was funny. But when Grace pulled up and when she was just waiting outside the building, she's like, "Oh, you came back!" And she shot her ass with the shotgun. That shit was so satisfying. I was like, "Yes, just take that bitch out. Like we ain't got time for games now." She took her ass out. That was also hilarious. Um, let's see. When Titus did kill Ursula, like I definitely saw that one coming. I thought that it was a flip of the coin. It was either she was gonna kill him or he was gonna kill her, and she just waited too long. I thought she was gonna take his ass out way earlier, to be honest. But once he started getting a little too power crazy throughout the midpoint, I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be him taking her out because she still got a not saying she got a full heart, but she got like a slight sliver in there still,
Mm-hmm.
and she was trying to be Captain Save a Hole, but it's like, girl, you in too deep now. Like we in too deep with this, so ain't no ain't nothing else. And also that scene and where right before Titus killed Ursula, she was trying to talk to Grace to like quote unquote like help her out, and there is I forget the exact line, but it was something along the lines of like, oh, like you have like hope or whatever, and that we there or something like that. And Grace was like, well, you guys took it from me, and I was like, shit. That was a deep that was deep right there because I mean they did like they've been we gotta think this been 24 hours for her.
Yep. And now her sister, who she ain't seen in years, is involved in it.
Yeah, so she's been 24 hours. Like this girl was getting hunted the night before this at this in the movie. So like that is too much. It's too much. Um, that was a good one. Uh, there was another
Okay,
one
can
that
I say the scene where
yeah, go
everyone's fighting over the ring and they all just
ahead.
they're killing each other and then boom.
So fucking funny.
uh, I love how this movie is just it gives you the gore, but it gives you the funny. It didn't miss a beat, just like the last one didn't. I enjoyed it.
No, Radio Silence loved their fucking buckets of blood from we saw that in the first Radio, and also fucking Abigail.
Oh,
Yeah,
we still have to review Abigail. That's on the list.
yeah, they love their fake blood. Never change, guys. We love it. Um, yeah, I think that might be it for the most part for me with in regards to scenes. Um, Elijah Wood, I did like most of the scenes in here, as well, and some interesting. I like that one thing I will say, which probably come on more so when we talk about her. That Grace definitely um, held on to information really well as a character, like recalling stuff that was said about like these rules and whatnot, and what could and could not be done, and how she used that to her advantage to get rid of some of these people.
I did love that. It's like even like stuff she learned from the last movie.
Hmm.
She was able to like utilize, and I love that she wasn't dumb. I love that she was observant and she was quick on her feet. Cause baby,
Yeah.
I would have forgot a lot of that. Well, let's move on to the character list, and we just have the whole family, all the families, the collective. What did you think about them? What did you think about meeting these new people and like learning their dynamics and their thirst for power and wanting to be first?
I did like that they had like a range covered in here, like not just like saying, "Oh, everything is just happening," in like a U.S. type of base thing. Like the range of families that they pulled were global and just showing how interconnected. Like not say, well, I don't know what
Like
happens for real,
interconnected,
but
like different races. Like it was expansive,
yeah,
not
and
just white Americans.
yeah, and they use that. Um, I thought that like that was good to show like how like expansive this world of like Mr. LaBelle and these like dynamics were, and all these people took like these oaths and shit and indoctrinated their families into it. Like the gentleman Ignacio, like his son. I knew what the fuck was going on. Like his son was gonna be like the fucking little badasses from the first one, when them little badasses was gonna be like his son, like he was ready to get with the shits, like and try to kill Grace or whatever. Um, and just how it's it was just crazy. Even though obviously, like we don't know how long these families were in it because like we did the Ladomases or Alex's family from the first one, but I can't. It can be assumed it's been a long ass time. And just how normalized and normal this is to them that they're like, oh hell yeah, we get to blah 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 to fight for the power and we got to sacrifice this girl. Like how normalized this just was to them at this point in time. Like they were so desensitized to any of it and keeping like their way of life that and them going to goat sacrifices is the most normal thing. Like this was just a Saturday for them. They just pulled up and were ready for the shits. Um, the one lady from the one lady had her name. Her name was Wan. She was the one from China who tried to like like give Grace the a way out. It was like, oh, you just got to marry my son, and then I'll have the High Council seat, and you don't have to do anything. And it's like, lady, Grace does not want to do any of this shit. Like she is not trying to sign her life over so that she can like like sacrifice goats and shit for the rest of her life every time it calls for it. Like everybody is not like y'all. So like Grace liked Alex for Alex. She didn't like Alex because he was a Ladomus.
Like, baby girl didn't even know what that meant.
Exactly. But yeah, the all the families though they picked pretty good. The one Indian guy, he was hilarious to me throughout. Especially when he immediately signed the rights over to his wife. And he was like, well, we're gonna let her do it. And she immediately left. And he was like, and Elijah Wood was like, well, she has all your assets now, so you're broke.
I love
But
this.
little,
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
not gonna be honest though. At the end, when when everybody was exploding and we saw he was still alive for a second because of that, like I really thought they were gonna keep him alive. And then when he exploded, that was hilarious. But also, I wish they would have cut and showed us the wife exploding because technically she's still in
Like
it.
I wanted her to be like at an airport or some shit, and then just boom.
Yes, yes, I wanted to see that. Uh,
Well, let's move on over to the lawyer. Um, Off the bat, I have to say I kind of expected him to blow up. I thought
Oh, really?
some way I did. I don't know why. I just thought he was going to like blow up. I thought, he was some branch of some broken off family or whatever that would still have remnants, but no, he was just the lawyer. He was um the guy's lawyer, which I don't know how that so like is there just like a lawyer or like representative that's just like passed on like generation to generation to generation?
I'm assuming so.
I want to know more about that from like the
Well,
lawyer, the representative's point of view. But
I
that
mean,
was cool. I'm surprised he. I'm just happily surprised he didn't blow up. Leaves room for something. What about you?
um, I didn't really have much thoughts on Elijah Wood's character. I feel like he's one of those characters where his purpose was served just the best way it could be. Like, I don't think I really have an opinion on it.
Hmm.
He was there, to be the proctor, because if he wasn't there, I mean, they would have they would have captured Grace ass with like some drones or something, and or like shocked her from like yards away or whatever, and just had her ass killed that way. So we need the lawyer slash proctor being there is the only thing that's kind of keeping them in check. But because we saw at the beginning what happens if you don't follow the rules.
Yep.
So we needed somebody to be that role for for them, and also to give us the audience a little more information.
You right about that. Well, let's move on over to Ursula and Titus. What did you think about our sibling duo?
Well, it definitely wasn't no cruel intentions with this one. She hated his ass, and he hated her ass. But she just had a little, like I said, she just had a little bit more heart than he did, and couldn't be the one to take him out. Because you immediately got the vibe that like the dad obviously knew that he wasn't shit, and the dad even said so earlier on, like, don't let him get the ring, like, I'm gonna need you to get that. And it was kind of coming across at first that like that Titus was kind of like not bumbling idiot type, because he wasn't giving like he was stupid. He just wasn't up to the same par that Ursula was, and she was kind of always more so in charge than he was, and he was just following behind her. But at one point, he had a switch throughout where he just kind of realized that I'm in charge, and that's when that flip switch, and she couldn't do anything else about it, like Ursula or anybody, and he should have taken him out earlier. But also the way that it went, I don't see any other way Grace would have got out of it without the way that she did, to be quite honest, and how everything fell into place with him. Excuse me, with him and Grace taking him out. Because let's say Ursula did kill Titus earlier on, um, Grace probably would have definitely got sacrificed. Because
Oh
I think,
yes.
yeah, like while Titus used like the brawn, Ursula would have used the brains, and she would have worked her way around getting that shit done. So I believe that was what everything that happened between those two up until even Titus killing her had to happen so that Grace and Faith could get out. Because thinking about the rules, I don't see any other way.
I just love they had good like sibling chemistry, like siblings who just like
Yeah,
can't stand each other or annoyed by each other. So they played on that well, and then also I loved how you could see that she was slowly becoming afraid of him. Like
Hmm.
it went from her being like he's a complete idiot. I need to be in charge, and then you slowly start her to be like, okay, no, I need to be terrified of him. I really need to do this now. And
Yeah.
I just love watching that turn more so than I loved watching. Like I enjoyed his turn, but I enjoy watching her realize like, oh shit, this he's not the same like beast and woke the fuck up. What am I gonna do now? So
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
She
I
has some
like
good
that she
facial acting throughout.
yes.
Like her
And
face was saying a lot.
her character kind of like continues a theme from the last movie, like a subtle theme where because last movie you had Adam Brody's character who was like, okay, we probably shouldn't be doing this. We should let
Siblings.
her go.
Hmm.
I'm yeah, like one sibling is like someone's trying to break off from what's happening. They're trying to be different and they're trying to help the person and it ends up getting them killed. It happened with Adam Brody, it happened with Sarah Michelle Gellar. So I kinda like that they kind of kept that through line. Like I enjoyed that.
No, I agree. That was, and I was gonna mention that too. Like how in this one we have one pair of siblings on their side, and then we got our pair, Grace and Faith.
Yep. But let's move on over to our other siblings, Grace and Faith. And
Oh,
let's
love them down.
yes. I was kind of worried that Faith was gonna feel like shoehorned in and just like kind of like I was afraid of how they were gonna explain her presence and explain her being there. Cause like they could have been a wrong way of doing that. And honestly, what I thought was going to happen is that it was going to be revealed that she was in on it the entire time, some way, somehow. So I'm glad we
Um,
didn't get that. But since we didn't get that, I enjoyed the like the sibling like bonding and them relearning each other while trying to save each other, and they were kicking some ass. I ain't gonna lie to you, like
mhm.
they were not going down without a fight, and I enjoyed that so much. And like the little like Faith being very confused, like what is actually going on while we're trying
No,
to
dead
save each other.
ass.
But go ahead, what are your thoughts?
No, yeah, I have to say, like, feels about them, especially them, like, steady, like, keep fighting, like, fighting and getting back up. Because when Titus was beating, like, Fate's ass, like, she was not, she was getting back up, and she was not trying to go down without a fight, at the ending part. But, yeah, I like their dynamic. They played off each other really well. Um, I when I first like heard what they were doing with the movie and I saw the first trailer, I thought like the families were like one of the like the families or like Ursula and Titus were gonna bring her sister into it. I wasn't expecting her to be there from the beginning, like when she got at the hospital. And I kind of like it more that way. The way that they came together instead of the family being like, "Oh, we have your sister, and now you have
Or
to
like you
survive
play
with
this
her."
game and you play our game or she dies type of thing.
Yeah, right. So I liked how she came into the story. It felt a bit more natural that way instead of what I had in mind, which I didn't want. So I'm glad they went a different way with that. And yeah, I think it worked. It worked really well, and it worked really well in her favor to one connect. Get connected back. And I mean, how else to speed run a reunion than going through a death game together and surviving the morning with your sibling that you haven't seen in a couple years. So, I mean, they just
Like
spent run
whatever
therapy.
family drama caused that rift is now null and void. We
No,
just
dead ass. Like we just spent run therapy. Like I mean,
Even if the beef was valid, at this point, it's null and void. We're over it.
Exactly. And they even they did have some good like bits of like conversation in there where you you understand like why they would have had their rift that they did in the meantime. And I always because you knew it had to happen, I always say, you know, when you get the like either this type of like scenario or like family related or couple related, where it's like, oh, like we got like something, somebody just goes over the line a little bit, now they split up. I'm like, no, don't do it. It's not worth it. We got too much on the line to be split up right now.
We can bicker and split up afterwards, but we need to be a united front in this moment.
Like, this for real, we cannot be split right now. Like, come on, y'all. Like, girls, stop fighting.
Do
Like, where is Kendall Jenner with the Pepsi, bro? Stop fighting.
not the not the throwback.
But they were good. And, like, in both of them, Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton, they played like both of the characters great. I mean, obviously Samara, she was great in the first one, and Catherine played off her really well in this one. And they were given like sibling vibes for real though. And I can't not say anything about um
The
Grace's
Radio
hair.
Silence team just write good horror siblings.
They do.
Yeah, you just gotta give that to them. They write good horror siblings.
But I have to give a special shout out to Grace's wig at the end when she was in that
Whew.
black wedding dress.
Mm.
It was giving. Whoever's on hair makeup that day, y'all did that. Um Plus I was just happy. I was like, finally my girl could get cleaned up because she been dirty for 24 hours. Covered in other people's blood and everything.
She she been dirty since sunset the previous night. Like she been
She
in
still
this
got
same.
still got a whole hole in her hand from getting shot.
She been in this outfit since yesterday morning. Who knows what time she got ready for the party?
Like, goddamn. So she got glad she got out of that. But yeah, I'm very okay with where we ended up with these characters. Um Personally, don't see where anything will go from here. The only thing
Okay, that was my next question. I was gonna ask, do you want more?
I like like yes, but no. Like, do I want more? Like in the me sense, yes. Does this require more? It does not require more of anything. Um, yeah, unless they want
Would
to.
you be okay if this duology does not become a trilogy?
Oh yeah, more very much,
Okay.
very much so. Now, would I be unopposed to like somehow they linked up with Melissa Barrera's character from Abigail, and they just started a supernatural fighting team, and then just beat, and then I don't know,
Well,
fighting the powers that be.
they would have to explain Catherine Newton.
No, they wouldn't.
He was a vampire and Abigail at She Blew Up.
Okay, and now she's a different character.
I guess it's very
Movies
soap
did that
opera.
before.
Yeah, they have.
All they got to do is just have a little joke. I mean, and you look real familiar. Yeah, I get that a lot.
Or we could just say that was Faith. And she still blew the fuck up, and now we just got Grace and Melissa Barrera's character on the revenge plot.
I don't know,
That could work.
but I I don't think this can stay as a duology. Radio Silence would have to do some really it will have to convince me really hard of a sequel after this one if they wanted to go a trilogy route for Ready or Not.
Yep.
But the first one being called Ready or Not, and this one being called Ready or Not, Here I Come. I don't think none of those come after that, so we good. I meant to say, I forgot to put this earlier, but at the end where Faith saw the little ghost of Mr. LaBelle, and she was like, "Oh." She's like, "Oh, she was." That's what she was talking about. That was funny. Um, but go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, go ahead and give us the behind the scenes info and fact.
Alrighty. So the budget for Ready or Not, Here I Come was 14 million. The movie is currently still in theaters, but the current box office totals are 13 million. Sorry, 12 million. The film currently sits at a 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. Bloody Disgusting gave the film a 3.5 out of 5 stars and wrote, "More is more." In Ready or Not 2, bigger stakes, larger playing field, a higher and more gruesome body count, and even double the protagonist. And RogerEbert.com gave the film 3 out of 4 stars and wrote, "In a year when news stories have proliferated about the unchecked evil at the core of so many business and seats of power around the world, there's something almost comforting about watching an ordinary woman and her sister fight the system right down to the bowels of hell. We could all use a few more fighters like Grace." Amen to that.
Enough about them. What about us? Tawan, do we cash or pass? Ready or not, two. Here I come.
I very much cash Ready or Not 2. Here I come. I had a really fun time with this movie, and I am very excited for when this drops on digital, and I can watch both of these movies back to back because this is a perfect double feature. It's literally meant for it. Um, I wish they actually would have had in theaters like a double feature showing of both movies. I feel like that was something that Universal kind of slept on there with these, but yeah, very, very good. Samara Weaving, great. Catherine Newton, great. The rest of the cast did really good. We love seeing Sarah Michelle Gellar pop up where she does. And I think this movie worked really well. Also, it was so random. I remember David Cronenberg being casted in this movie, but I forgot by the time that I watched it. So when he popped up as the dad, I was like, oh. And then he was immediately dead. And I was like, oh.
Like, yeah, that
But
makes sense.
yeah, but okay. um, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I'm here for whatever Radio Silence does at this point. They have not done me wrong. Um, with my like any of their releases, they just have a really fun style with the way that they do their movies, and I'm here for whatever they do next.
For me, it's also gonna be a cash. This was a great movie. It was a fun movie. Um, I I rarely fall in love with people's directing styles. Like, direct the movie and I'm good. I can tell if it's good directing. I can tell if it's bad directing. I never just like fall in love with the directing. But this, I was like, okay, this is what I was missing from. This is what I was missing from Scream 7. Like watching Scream 5 and 6, you can, and then watching 7, you see the directing difference, and you see like Radio Silence has their own style. Like you can't replicate it, and to try to follow it up is just you're asking to be get bare bad comparisons. And I love their directing and their scripts are so fun and so smart. I enjoyed it, and the story was good. I love Catherine Newton. Newton, she was a great addition. Glad to see her here. And I don't know. I don't need a second, but I would watch, and I would
Yep.
happily watch. I would happily tune in. Is our next week's review, which is Stephen King's The Monkey. It's gonna be my first time watching it. I'm quite excited, quite curious, because Stephen King adaptations have been good lately. So I'm excited. That's for next week. Until then, good night.
If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elian Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a Letter to Media production.
Should we do an intro?